Part 1 Introduction. The Untrained Mind. Have you ever woken up, already exhausted? Not because of what's ahead, but because of what's already going on inside your head. The noise starts before the day does. Regret over what you didn't do yesterday. Anxiety over what might go wrong today. And a constant whisper. You're behind. You're not enough. It feels normal, but that's the problem. You've gotten used to mental exhaustion as a default state. Brain, your mind is not the enemy, it's just untamed. Let's be clear, your mind isn't broken. It's just untrained. Most of us treat our minds like strangers, or worse, enemies. We fear silence, so we flood ourselves with distractions, podcasts, music, endless scrolling. But when the noise fades, the truth returns. The mind never stopped racing. We just turned away from it. The Stoics saw this centuries ago. They didn't have TikTok. They didn't have Netflix. But they did face war, slavery, exile, death, and yet, they mastered their inner world. Classical building enters Stoicism. Ancient tools for modern chaos. One of the most powerful ideas comes from Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is not about positive thinking. It's about mental strength training. You wouldn't expect physical strength without working out. So why do we expect mental peace without mental discipline? The mind can be trained through discomfort, through clarity, through reflection, and that's where Stoicism steps in. A system of thought designed to build resilience, not escape. Bullseye the goal. Stop chasing peace. Start creating it. Over the next few minutes, we'll walk through 7 Stoic truths, not easy ones, but necessary ones. Truths that challenge your reflexes. Truths that require honesty. Because real peace doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from controlling the only thing you ever could. Yourself. Let's begin. Part 2. Stoic Truths for Mental Resilience. Truth number 1. Stop letting feelings drive the car. Have you ever said something in anger and immediately regretted it? Have you ever avoided a challenge, not because it was impossible, but because you were afraid? That's what happens when emotions take the wheel. Light bulb the Stoic insight. Emotions are not facts. Let's start with a truth from Marcus Aurelius. If you are disturbed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke. This single line cuts through modern confusion. Your emotions are real, but they're not always right. Emotions are signals, not commands. They are data, not directions. You can feel fear without obeying it. You can feel anger without acting on it. But most people don't make that distinction. We confuse emotion with truth, and so we react instead of respond. Car, who's driving? You or your emotions? Imagine your mind like a car. In most people, emotions are in the driver's seat. Sadness pulls over and isolates. Anger floors the gas and crashes through conflict. Anxiety slams the brakes and avoids anything uncertain. The Stoic doesn't kill emotion, but they never let it drive. They feel deeply, but act wisely. They observe emotion like a weather pattern, present, but passing. Hammer and wrench the Stoic tools. Awareness plus separation. The first practical skill is emotional labeling. Say to yourself, this is sadness. This is fear. This is frustration. When you label an emotion, you create distance from it. This is grounded in modern psychology too. called affect labeling, which shows that naming your emotion helps reduce its grip. Next, ask, what would my wiser self do here? Or as Epictetus would say, is this within my control? And finally, write it down. Marcus Aurelius didn't write meditations for publication, he wrote to himself. To clarify his mind, journaling isn't therapy, it's training. It turns feeling into reflection, and reflection into choice. Bullseye conclusion: master the moment. Don't be owned by it. Your emotions are part of you, but they are not you. You are the observer, the strategist, the driver. The goal isn't to suppress what you feel. It's to create space between stimulus and response, between emotion and action, because in that space lives your power. Let's move on to the second Stoic truth. Truth number 2. Slow down your thoughts before they control you. You're not fighting monsters. You're fighting your mind. And the most common enemy? It's not fear. It's not anger. It's speed, the relentless pace of your own thoughts. Speech balloon. The Stoic insight, craving, not lack, is the thief of peace. Seneca, one of Rome's most profound minds, once wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." We often think stress comes from big problems, a job loss, a health scare, a relationship falling apart. But most anxiety? It's self-generated. It comes from within, a racing mind, constant comparison, what if, loops that never end. In other words, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Cyclone. The mechanics of overthinking. Modern neuroscience supports this. Overthinking, also called rumination, is linked to increased cortisol levels, the stress hormone, decreased focus and memory, chronic fatigue and burnout. But the Stoics saw it long before brain scans existed. They treated thought like a tool, something to be trained, not obeyed. Seneca and Epictetus taught that you must direct your thinking, or be directed by it. Hammer and wrench. The practice, slow down. You can't solve a problem with a frantic mind. Here's how Stoics and cognitive psychology teach us to regain control. Pause and breathe. When you feel the storm coming, racing heart, shallow breath, restless movement, stop. Inhale deeply. Count to 4. Exhale slowly. Do it again. This slows the nervous system and quiets the mind. Focus on one thought only. Ask yourself, what exactly am I thinking right now? Write it down. Name it. Narrow it. Evening reflection. At night, instead of scrolling your phone, ask, what thought today caused me the most stress? Write it. Examine it. Was it true? Was it useful? Marcus Aurelius did this every evening in meditations. Not to complain, but to gain clarity. Compass conclusion. Mental clarity is self-created. Clarity doesn't arrive by accident. It is the result of choosing presence over panic, focus over frenzy. The Stoics didn't try to stop thinking. They aimed to think better, with intention, with discipline, and with peace. Because when your thoughts slow down, your life finally starts to speed up in the right direction. Let's move on to the next Stoic truth. Truth number 3. Feed your mind. Don't poison it. You wouldn't eat spoiled food and expect to feel healthy. So why do we allow our minds to consume mental garbage and still hope for clarity, peace, and purpose? Marcus Aurelius warned us centuries ago. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Anti-clockwise arrows. Your mental input shapes your reality. Here's a hard truth. Your mental state is largely a product of your mental input. You scroll through fear-driven headlines and wonder why you feel anxious. You watch endless gossip and comparison and wonder why you feel insecure. You surround yourself with negativity and expect inner peace. This isn't a moral judgment, it's cause and effect. The mind reflects what it's fed. Just like the body needs clean food, the mind needs clean content. Broom the Stoic strategy. Mental diet audit. The Stoics were careful about what they allowed into their minds, especially because they knew they'd have to live with those thoughts. Here's a simple practice to start today. Audit your inputs. Over the next 24 hours, track what you consume. What do you watch? What do you read? Who do you listen to? Replace one junk input daily. Swap 10 minutes of mindless scrolling with a passage from meditations or letters from a Stoic, a moment of quiet reflection, journaling a single thought that shaped your mood. Protect your environment. Limit interactions that drain your energy or stir up resentment. Stoics didn't isolate, they simply chose their company with care. Compass guiding question. Who are you becoming? Every time you consume something, be it a conversation, a podcast, or a headline, ask, is this helping me become someone I respect? That question alone can redirect your habits. Because who you're becoming is not a mystery. It's a mirror of what your mind is being fed every day. So feed it well. Let's continue to the next Stoic truth. Truth number 4. Train your mind to observe, not absorb. Have you ever walked past someone, seen their expression shift, and immediately thought, that must be about me? That's not awareness, that's absorption. Seneca warned us, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And in today's world of constant stimuli, texts, glances, silence, social media, your imagination is being fed a steady diet of noise. Magnifying glass the difference between observing and absorbing. An untrained mind reacts instantly. A short reply from a friend becomes, they're mad at me. A lack of likes on a post becomes, I'm not interesting. A missed invitation becomes, I'm not valued. These aren't facts. They're assumptions dressed as truth. The Stoics understood this clearly. You are not your first reaction. You are what you choose to believe next. Brain Stoic tools to strengthen observation. To train your mind, apply these techniques daily. Slow down your conclusions. When something happens, ask, what else could this mean? Is this a story I'm telling myself, or a verified fact? Separate facts from feelings. Feeling excluded doesn't mean you were intentionally excluded. Feelings are valid, but they are not always accurate. Replace judgment with curiosity. Instead of assuming the worst, consider neutral or kind alternatives. Maybe they're tired. Maybe it had nothing to do with me. This isn't denial. It's mental discipline, and it protects your peace. Warning the hidden danger. Belief formation. Here's why this matters. Every assumption, repeated often enough, becomes a belief. And beliefs, once formed, start to shape your identity. Think about that. If you keep assuming rejection, your identity becomes, I'm not wanted. If you keep absorbing negativity, you become someone who expects it. Man in lotus position daily reminder, detach. Don't react. A practical mantra from the Stoic mindset. I observe the world. I do not absorb the noise. In practice, this means watching your thoughts without clinging to them, not personalizing every comment, expression, or silence, letting your higher reasoning, not fear, lead your interpretation. Because mental resilience isn't about ignoring life. It's about learning to see clearly and respond, not absorb. Let's keep building that clarity. Onto Stoic truth number 5. Truth number 5. Be okay with not knowing. How much of your mental exhaustion comes from this one feeling? I don't know what's going to happen, and I hate that. Uncertainty feels like chaos, and in our modern world, full of real-time updates, news alerts, and infinite what-ifs, we're conditioned to believe that knowing everything is the only way to stay safe. But that belief is a trap. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will go on well." Balance scale understanding the relationship between uncertainty and control. Anxiety thrives in the unknown, but clarity isn't found by predicting the future. Control, to a Stoic, doesn't mean controlling outcomes. It means controlling your response. The goal isn't to eliminate uncertainty, it's to build resilience within it. That's why the Stoics trained themselves, not to know more, but to need less certainty. They practiced steadiness, not certainty. Hammer and wrench practical tools to handle the unknown. Radical presence. When your mind spins with fear, ask, "Am I safe right now?" That simple question breaks the illusion that future chaos equals present danger. Let uncertainty be a teacher. Instead of resisting the unknown, treat it as a practice in patience, not rushing answers. Humility, accepting what you can't see. Trust, believing in your ability to adapt. Silence as a strategy. Constant stimulation drowns out clarity. Stillness invites insight. When was the last time you sat in silence, not to solve a problem, but just to be? Woman in lotus position affirmation for mental grounding. I let go of needing to know. I trust my strength in the unknown. Say it, write it, live it, because mental resilience doesn't mean you're fearless. It means you can face the unknown and still remain whole. In a world obsessed with prediction, stillness becomes power. Let's explore what that looks like in Stoic truth number 6. Truth number 6. Build daily mental routines, not emotional dependency. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Epictetus. Pushpin introduction. The danger of living by emotion. In today's world, many of us are driven by how we feel in the moment. We wait for motivation before we act. We wait to feel ready before we begin. But what if readiness never comes? One day, you feel energized, you work out, eat clean, follow your goals. The next, you're tired or overwhelmed, and suddenly, everything slips. This pattern leads to instability. Not because you're weak, but because you're relying on a system that was never meant to be stable, your mood. The Stoics warned against this dependency over 2,000 years ago. Instead of relying on emotion, they built their lives on discipline. Hammer and wrench key practices to build mental discipline. Let's break down how to implement this idea into your daily life. Begin with stillness. Morning clarity, 5 minutes daily. Before the chaos begins, sit in silence. No phone, no noise. Observe your breath. Notice your thoughts, without following them. This moment of stillness centers you before the world pulls you off balance. Create a guiding thought. Write one sentence to carry with you through the day. Example: my peace is not up for negotiation. This isn't just a quote, it's a decision. A line you won't cross. Even under stress. Detach action from emotion. Discipline is showing up even when you're at 40%. Don't wait for the perfect mood to begin. And the mood often follows. Bullseye conclusion. Why this matters. Consistency builds confidence. Daily effort, even small, creates self-respect. And self-respect becomes strength. When you no longer rely on emotion to dictate your actions, you become steady, reliable. In a world full of emotional noise, you become the calm center. Daily affirmation. I act with discipline, not emotion. This is not about denying how you feel, it's about not being ruled by it. As Epictetus said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Let your habits prove your mindset, especially on the hard days. Truth number 7. Incomplete. Introduction. Why ambition shapes identity. What do you aim for in life? That's not a casual question, it's a defining one. According to Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, your worth is deeply tied to the quality of your ambitions. But let's pause for a moment. What exactly do we mean by ambition? Is it chasing wealth, fame, recognition? Or is it something deeper, like living with integrity, seeking wisdom, or building strength of character? In the modern world, ambition is often equated with hustle. More hours, more goals, more output. But the Stoics saw ambition as something far more internal. A clear vision of the kind of person you're trying to become. Toolbox key ideas. What Stoic ambition looks like. Let's explore how to reframe ambition through a Stoic lens. Clarify what you value. Are your goals aligned with your virtues, or are they based on what others expect from you? For the Stoics, true ambition was rooted in wisdom, justice, courage, and self-control. Ask yourself, would I still pursue this goal if no one were watching? Avoid trivial pursuits. If your ambition is shallow, like being liked by everyone or outperforming others, it can lead to insecurity and burnout. But when your ambition is internal, like mastering your mind or serving others with integrity, you build resilience from the inside out. Set standards, not expectations. You can't always control outcomes, but you can control the standard you live by. Your ambition should guide your actions, not your need for results. As Epictetus said, don't aim to be better than others. Aim to be better than your former self. Puzzle piece conclusion. Who are you becoming? Your ambition isn't just a future destination. It's the blueprint of who you're becoming today. And every action, every small decision, is a vote toward that identity. In Stoic practice, ambition isn't about rising above others. It's about rising within yourself. If your ambitions are noble, your worth follows, not in the eyes of the world, but in the judgment of your own soul. Reflection prompt. Are my daily efforts aligned with the person I claim to want to be? Because in the end, as Marcus Aurelius reminds us, a man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Let those ambitions be worthy of your life. Truth 8. Your inner peace is your responsibility, not the world's job. It is not events that disturb people. It is their judgments about them. Epictetus. Globe introduction. Searching for peace in a noisy world. Most people live as if peace is something they'll eventually earn. Once I get the right job. Once my partner stops doing that. Once the world finally calms down. But that mindset assumes peace is something outside of you, something the world gives you when it's in the mood to be kind. The Stoics completely rejected that idea. For them, the real source of peace was never in the external world. It was in your internal judgment of that world. Epictetus reminds us, events don't disturb us. Our interpretations do. If you feel trapped in anxiety, frustration, or helplessness, it's not because of traffic, your boss, or breaking news. It's because your mind, untrained, is reacting instead of leading. Brain main concepts. Cultivating Stoic peace from within. Let's break down this truth into 3 core insights. 1. Inner peace is generated, not given. Peace isn't something you wait for. It's something you practice. The more you tie peace to things you can't control, your income, your relationships, the behavior of others, the more fragile your calm becomes. 2. Perspective is the only control you truly have. When chaos hits, most people ask, "Why me?" But the Stoic shift is to ask, "What can I control right now?" That recenters your energy from reaction to intention. Your calm becomes an act of strength, not circumstance. 3. Neuroplasticity confirms this works. Modern psychology shows us, what you practice, your brain repeats. When you practice responding to stress with reflection instead of panic, your neural pathways adapt. That's how peace becomes a default, not just a momentary state. Rock conclusion. Building unshakable calm in a chaotic world. Here's the truth. The world is not going to get quieter for you. It's not going to slow down, become more fair, or revolve around your emotional needs. But the Stoics would say, it doesn't need to. Because your job isn't to control the world. Your job is to govern the one thing you actually own, your judgment. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "How can I respond in a way that builds peace within me?" Repeat this affirmation when needed. I don't wait for peace, I choose it. I don't react, I respond. My calm is my responsibility. And in that choice, you become unshakable. Biceps truth number 9. Comfort is the enemy of strength. We must be tested. Fire tests gold. Misfortune tests the brave. Seneca, Compass Introduction. Are we mistaking comfort for safety? In today's world, comfort is everywhere: climate control, food delivery, algorithm-curated entertainment. Yet, despite all this convenience, anxiety levels are soaring. Why? It's not because life has gotten too hard. It's because our minds have become too soft from avoiding what's hard. What if the real source of your unease isn't difficulty, but the lack of difficulty? This is a powerful Stoic insight, and it may feel uncomfortable to hear. But that's the point. The Stoics believed comfort, left unchecked, leads to fragility, and only by facing voluntary discomfort can we build the inner toughness that resilience demands. Magnifying glass analysis. How comfort weakens and discomfort strengthens. Let's break this truth down into 3 key ideas. 1. Discomfort trains the mind like resistance trains the body. You wouldn't expect to grow stronger in the gym by lifting nothing. The same goes for mental strength. Avoiding pain, embarrassment, or failure doesn't protect your mind, it atrophies it. Each time you sidestep a tough conversation or delay a difficult decision, you reinforce avoidance, and avoidance breeds anxiety. 2. Small challenges build mental muscle. You don't have to start with a Spartan lifestyle. Start by doing one thing each day that makes you uncomfortable. Sit in silence with your thoughts. Take a cold shower. Say no to something, without apologizing. These tiny acts of voluntary hardship slowly rewire your brain to associate discomfort with growth, not threat. 3. Psychology confirms the practice. Clinical tools like exposure therapy and habit reversal training are grounded in this very principle. The brain adapts through controlled stress. It's called neuroplasticity. Just like Stoics taught, adversity is not your enemy, it's your gym. Checkered flag conclusion. Choose challenge over ease. In a society that idolizes comfort but suffers from chronic dissatisfaction, the Stoics offer a timeless wake-up call. Don't chase ease, chase evolution. When Seneca said, "Misfortune tests the brave," he wasn't glorifying pain, he was reframing it. Pain is not punishment, it's the forge of character. So the next time you feel resistance, lean in. Because that's the moment you're not weakening, you're strengthening. Man in lotus position affirmation for the day. I choose discomfort not to suffer, but to grow. I face what's hard to become what's strong. Part 3. Conclusion. Mental resilience is a daily practice, not a one-time decision. My mind is my home, and I will protect it. Small diamond introduction. The inner fortress. Let's pause and reflect for a moment. In a world full of noise, speed, and chaos, what's the one place you should always feel safe? Your own mind. But for many of us, our minds feel more like battlefields than sanctuaries. Constant comparison, overthinking, emotional overload, external events hijacking our internal state. The ancient Stoics didn't have smartphones or social media, but they faced something just as challenging, life's unpredictability. And their response was clear. Build an inner fortress so strong that no storm from the outside can shake it. This isn't just poetic, it's practical. Small diamond core ideas recap. Stoic foundations for mental strength. Here's what the Stoics taught us, and what modern psychology confirms. Control what you can, release what you can't. Peace begins where attachment to outcomes ends. Discipline matters more than emotion. If you only act when you feel good, you'll never build consistency. Routine is your ally. Perspective shapes your experience. It's not events that disturb you, it's your judgment about them. Choose wisely. Discomfort trains strength. Stop avoiding life's friction. That friction is the grindstone that sharpens your resilience. These aren't abstract theories. They are daily tools, mental habits, internal armor. Every single day gives you a chance to practice. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, don't run. Instead of silencing your mind with distractions, silence the world for a moment. Reconnect with stillness. Ask yourself, what's truly within my control right now? Then act, not from panic, not from emotion, but from clarity. Because mental resilience doesn't mean being untouched by hardship. It means remaining grounded when hardship comes. If this message resonates with you, consider doing 3 simple things. Share it with someone who needs clarity. Comment your biggest takeaway. Subscribe so we can build inner strength together. Man in lotus position final affirmation. My mind is my home. I will protect it with discipline, with wisdom, and with stillness.